Hey guys, Cory here with Ferris Fitness. Today I want to look at an exercise I see done wrong a lot across gyms, and it's going to be called a T-bar row. Now, before I even get started, there's different types of T-bars. So in this case, I'm talking about a standing T-bar row with little platforms like this. Chest supported T-bar rows, they're more than fine. You can't really mess those up. So, all right, let's get started. So this is a standing T-bar row. They call it a T-bar because of the shape that this bar actually makes. And there are different grips on them. We won't go over those too much today. We can do that in another video here, but the grips just change the placement in the back, either outer, inner, upper, or lower. But in this case, we're just gonna look at the actual setup of the body and what we're trying not to do. So before we get too far, let's just look at a proper T-bar row. And we're gonna bend down, use our legs, pick up, stand up. From here, I'm trying to stand straight up. On this particular one, I'm going right till my legs hit this. And then I'm gonna hinge into my pattern. Hips back, hips down. All right, we're gonna use our legs to set it down too, another important part. Now, let's look at an incorrect T-bar row. So for any seasoned lifter, I'm sure you kind of already know where I'm going with this. It is going to look like this. This is an incorrect T-bar row. And now the reason being is if I am positioned like this, there's a term called the fulcrum. It's a transfer point. So in this particular situation, fulcrum's here in my lower back, which we do not want in the fulcrum. We don't want any tension in the lower back at all. So if you're rowing like this, all this weight's being distributed through your lower back. And with this, our goal is to obviously not hit our lower back. And now I'm not saying that this is not a row. Before anyone comments on that, this is a row. It's called a pendulum row. If we're talking risk versus reward, I do not think the risk is versus the reward of a pendulum row. That would be the targeting the upper back, the post delts, the traps, whatever. And there are a million other ways you can hit those muscles that will not risk your lower back. Hop on the rear delt fly, hop on face pulls, anything else, but definitely not worth using your lower back here. So let's go ahead and get this T-bar row set up correctly again. And when we're rowing, it is essentially a half deadlift. So when we deadlift, the hips slide back and the knees drop, right? This would be a deadlift setup. You're gonna row exactly like this. This is the safest point where there's no tension on the lower back, and that's why we deadlift like that. So slide down, pick up with your legs again. Hips hinge back like a deadlift, hips come down. From here, what I'm looking for is my shoulders and my knees should be lined up. If they're forward like this, again, lower back. So hips and knees in line, and now pulling in, trying to keep those elbows tucked to the side. And of course, keeping good form, good time under tension in mind, and focus on activating the lats. And when you're done, I like to stand straight up and come right down with my legs. That is the most safe, proper way to T-bar row. Keep the tension out of your lower back, especially if you're getting these heavy and you're bending over like this. Totally not worth it. Nothing is worth hurting your lower back for. Well, all right, guys, that is a T-bar row done the correct way. If you have any questions, drop them in the comment section. If you want to see any other exercises dissected, let me know. And as always, thank you, and make sure you subscribe.